Hey everyone, I've got a video here to share with you, and I'm just using the last of my July Kitaholic kits that you can see here. That box, the top of my box there, is all I've got left of the kit, and as well as making this video obviously, and I'm just pulling out some things that I would like to use. So I cut down the papers to be Project Life cards that I had left so that I could use that way if I wanted, and this way I obviously am using them to mat the photos behind. Well, to mat behind the photos. So I've got that Project Life card that's got that phrase on it, and I think that would be good to add to it. And this is where this is the way the layout's heading at the moment. So I go, okay, let me take that off, and I will just put what I want to do on the background first, and then I'll embellish. So what I decided to do was, I couldn't really think of any titles. I do have vowels left and lots of letters, but I didn't think of any titles that I really wanted to do. But because the boys are reading stories one night that I've taken their photos, I thought if I put all these letters and these numbers around where the photos are, it might tie in a bit. And originally my plan was to cover the whole 12 by 12 layout, but I didn't have enough. But it actually looks really good the way that it just is on an angle across the page with all these alphas. So I'm just sticking them on at the moment, and you'll see later that I actually adhere them a bit, a bit more permanently. But I'm just putting them around, trying to spread out the letters so that they're not next to each other. And I probably should have done some numbers a bit earlier, but it works. It's not. I actually really love the way it worked. So you can see there, I've got a whole sheet empty, and I go for the second one, and this one's going to be empty pretty soon. So this is where I'm realizing that I'm not going to have enough, but I make it just along this angle here, and just sticking them down. So anyway, I'm obviously just talking about the same thing, so let's talk about something else. What's been happening? I've been pretty busy at work, so the videos are coming, but I've got so many to edit and voice over that unfortunately I make first before I edit, and I get a big pile of videos that are backlogged. So I'm hoping to get a few done tonight so that you guys can enjoy. And as you can see, I got the other thickers that were in the kit, and I'm just making a title down the bottom here. So it's going to say Bookworm ×2 because I did not have an S. So that's a good way to sort of be, be sneaky and use up your alphas and your thickers without getting what you have. And I also use those brackets, which also help to use up those packet of thickers. And so you can see there I started to glue down a few of the letters that were pulling up. I think actually the cardboard was breaking behind them, the chipboard. And I commit to my title, but as you can see on the right side of my screen there, I've got my matte gel medium out, and I just got that from our Kaiser Craft shop. And I've seen it at some of our cheap dollar shops in Australia here too, so if anyone's looking for it, there's a matte one and a glossy one. I just decided to use the matte one just to take the shine off the thickers and make it less shiny, I guess, less in your face. It sort of just dulls it down a little. And my plan is that I'm going to put some of the watercolor paints over top of it that we got in the kit too. We got in the mixed media kit this month, and putting the matte gel medium over not only sticks them down but also protects them from the water that I'm going to put over them, because obviously the watercolor paint is watery. That way they're not going to, although I must have missed one, if you can see at the end there's a letter at the top, maybe that M or something that is not, you can see it's a little bit different discoloration. But it's not like it's, oh my god, it's horrific, get rid of it. It's just different. So here you go. I kept it in because I wanted to show you, it's just, putting it on my finger and rubbing it across underneath, and underneath it a little bit, like I'm making the letters move a little, but over the top as well. So that just secures them and protects them from the mixed media. So as I'm finishing up that, you'll see I get out my watercolors in a moment, and they're the Crate Paper watercolor set. And some of the colors I've used, well, there you go, close up of what it was. Some of the colours in this paint palette I've already used a lot of, and the colours are just beautiful because I already have a watercolour set, and I was like, oh gosh, here comes another one. Oh, so I'm just spreading out the matte gel medium. There was a bit of build up on some of the areas, and I'm too impatient, so I'm using my heat gun. Anyway, as I was saying, I was a bit like, oh, I've already got watercolour paints, why would I want another set? But actually this set has different colours, and it actually is a bit more, I don't know what, it's sort of a bit, like the colours are a bit more strong, not that they're really heaps bright or anything, but the colour has more coverage when it goes on. So the set that I originally have, I brought a while ago just at Officeworks, and is not, you know, it's $15 for a lot of colours, but they don't have all the colours, and they don't have the ones that are here. Like, they don't have this nice mint and this nice corally orangey colour, but it works and it's good. So, you know, especially when you're starting off, if you just want to experiment. So let me just explain what I'm doing here instead of rambling. I don't know if my rambling is getting too much in videos. Let me know down below if I'm, you know, if you're hating my rambling. Anyway, back to what I'm doing. So what I'm doing is I've just got a cup, you know, old school when you're a kid and you've got a cup of water, and I'm using the paintbrush, dipping it in, adding a fair bit of water to each paint circle that I want to use, just mixing it up, letting it dissolve it a little, and then I get a bit more water and I bring it over to the page. Then I get some more water and thin it out so that it becomes, it's sort of like doing the packaging technique without the plastic, and I'm just putting it on, obviously lifting my page so that it runs, and I'm just going on, putting some more, just making it thicker. So now I've closed my paint palette, get out my heat gun, and I think I'm done. But as you can see, my video goes for a bit longer because I actually play with the mixed media a few times, because as it dries it lightens, and I don't think I have enough coverage or enough of what I want. So gosh, there's a lot of heat drying that I've left in here, so sorry about that. I thought I'd cut out a lot of it. So yes, but if you don't have a heat gun, you can just wait. You can just wait for it to dry, put on some more, whichever you want to do. But often I'm just too impatient, so that's actually why I brought the heat gun, because I just wanted to add layers, especially when I'm doing those art journal inspired layouts. So here I am, I'm just going to put on my photos. I cut them down so they could be matted on those 3x4 Project Life size cards, and I'm gluing it on. And I get out that little phrase card, but I figured it's too much. It's going to be too busy. It won't stand out enough. It will be distracting. So I get out this 4x6 card and I cut it into a banner on each end. And I realise I overlap the photos like I, planned to all along. And here I go, stick it on and go, oh, that's just terrible. So stick to the original plan. Put on some fun foam on each of these photos. And this fun foam is just some A5 size that I got from Riot Craft Shop. And they're often on sale and you get quite a bit in the packet. So invest in that if you want to lift up your photos. I'm really struggling with the most simplest words. Like, how could you forget the word lift? Crazy. So here I am. You can see I got out my paints again because as it's dried, it's not as dark as I would like in some areas. So I'm just going over it, adding water if I want to thin it out, not adding water if I want it stronger. I think I just added too much water, which is why it thinned it out a lot when it dried. Over on the other side, the green, the green, the green. So I don't actually have any green because in the layout, except for that colour at the moment, because one of the photos is matted by a corally orange and the other one's matted by a grey and black card. But the colours go so nicely together, and I figured I'm going to do some kind of embellishment cluster somewhere that it'd be nice to put in the colours. So as you can see, I was flicking my paintbrush there to get some of the paint splatters on there as well, so that adds more to the texture and the layout there, adding some good mixed media goodness. So, oh, droopy droopy. Oh, no, I don't know what is... Oh, yeah, so I was going to tape it down, then realise it's fun foam. It's better to use my wet glue. And I've got quite a few wet glues, but this one is the Helmer's wet glue that I'm using today. Stick it on, hold it down, rub off whatever I put on it, probably paint. The good thing about printing on this selfie is that you can usually rub things off and it's not a problem. Especially if it's just like paint or ink or something, or well, not ink, but like spray mist, you can get that off. And what am I doing? Fiddling a bit. Oh, I must have had one of the letters out of line. You know, that's probably been staring at you the whole time. You've probably been going, gosh, move it, move it. So, okay, so here I am going to do the embellishment cluster. So these houses stayed in my kit in the box. I'm thinking, oh, what am I going to use them for? They're not really, you know, something that's been, you know, what I've been missing on my pages that I've done so far. And this is the month that I did the mini album. And I obviously didn't need it because I did a mini album of the vacation that we did, you know, the mini vacation. So I put it on this layout because the boys are reading at home one night, and I've used that not thicker, it's tiny word phrase, sticker kind of thing, and added it straight in there, made it a banner so that it added a bit of texture, a bit of interest, and on it goes. So that's pretty, like, it's a pretty simple layout because the background is striking and it looks a lot, but it's actually really simple, as you've seen, for me to do or for you to do. On it goes, and I'm obviously just looking through to see if there's anything else I want to add. But really, it's not, I don't want to say busy, but it's busy without being too busy, if you know what I mean. It's got enough on there that I don't need to add anything really else. Except for some more paint, because apparently, I realised I wanted some pink on it because of the houses. So I added some pink, doing the same technique. Ink splatters, on it goes. So yay, it's spring now, so it's going to start warming up really nice. Today I wore 3/4 pants and no jumper, so that was really nice in Canberra. It did get a bit cool when the sun went behind the clouds, but I was going, oh, this is nice to be, you know, feeling a bit warm, feeling a bit nice, rather than having layers and layers and a snow jacket on kind of thing. And yeah. That's about it. We still had to put the heater on at night tonight for a little while. And I'm in bed under the blankets recording this voiceover, so it does take a while to fully warm up, that we don't have to wear layers and layers in Canberra. Anyway, I'm just finished this layout with these colours, putting this paint on everywhere, fiddling around a bit, but I'm finishing up, so enjoy the close-up and come around next time.